put in your name and then.
No, I'm shagging right now. I'm out of here. See you guys later. Dokshak Kewa Chigink.
Oh, oha, doksta.
Well, good morning. You have to because
What's
it's.
recording?
I don't know. Still Russian know what's going on here. These guys.
It says recording. Are you recording this, Naja?
Yeah, recording the Zoom meeting now. I just went live on the Facebook.
Can you see me okay?
Oh, see you good. You sound good.
Okay.
We're about ready to roll. I'll play our music.
Oh.
Hey ha ya hey ha ya hey ya hey yo hey yo hey yo hey ha ya hey ya hey ya hey yo hey yo hey yo hey ha ya hey ya hey ya hey Fort Beck Community College, Ukiepino, yo, me too, gashi, dagush, kashka, yogi, no, yo, wata, pepe, agi, tabi, ihachi, ya, bino, hey, yo, hey, yo. Hey ha ya hey ha ya hey ya hey yo hey yo hey yo hey ha ya hey yo hey ha yo hey yo hey yo hey ha ya hey ya hey ya hey Fort Beck Community College, Ukiepino, yo, me too, gashi, dagush, kashka, yogi, piano, yo, wata, baby, agik, tabi, ihachi, ya, bino, hey, yo, hey, yo. Hey ha ya hey ha ya hey ya hey yo hey yo hey yo hey ha ya hey yo hey ya hey yo hey yo hey yo hey ha ya hey ya hey ya hey ha ya hey hey yo Fort Beck Community College Ukiepino yo me too gashi dagush kashka yogi piano yo wata pepe agik tabi ihachi ya bino hey yo hey yo hey ha ya hey ya hey yo hey yo hey yo hey ha ya hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo hey ha ya hey ya hey ya hey yo hey yo Fort Beck Community College Ukiepino yo me too gashi dagush kashka yogi piano yo mata pepe adi tabi ihachiya ya bino hey yo.
How mdakti? Okay, yushka on chian campido. Wana wak chinja wak pa dechia daya ya hipido. Elijah Hopkins demie. Dakota chaje.
Step outside there for a second.
Spemiche. Mak upido. Hello, relatives, and welcome to the Buffalo Chasers podcast. Elijah Hopkins, joined with by Mr. Dekshi Earl Bullhead. We are at week number 48 of our Buffalo Chasers podcast. Again, what we try to do weekly is have a good conversation, cultural conversation with a few of our elders, share some personal experiences related to this way of life, things that they like to share with us, and been going strong here for about a year or so. Actually, Tommy could not make it. He's handling a few things, personal things, but next week, for sure, he'll be back. So till then, Dexy Earl and myself are going to hold it down and ask Dexy Earl if you would share a prayer with us in a good way, and we can get maybe started on whatever you want to share with us today.
Hey, Tokapshnani, you know, the chala dona petu yamani when I started coughing really bad. So nihimich, I thought maybe I was getting this sickness that's going around. So I checked in at the clinic down here. They have a respiratory department, which I thought that was pretty neat. So I went and got myself checked out, and it turned out to be some bronchitis. So that was good to hear, and tested positive on the test for the virus. So I'm happy about that. But nihimicha once again, you know, because I've been into it before, and so the things we have to go through with that, plus surgery on top of that. So I'm very thankful to be here today. And so rather than try to talk, I'm going to sing a direction song. So I kind of hoping that all of you could relax a little bit and kind of think about your relatives and the prayers that they need. And not too long ago, about 40 minutes ago, I received a phone call. I lost a nephew down in south of Albuquerque. Tragic thing happened there, and it's still bothering me to this moment. But he was, how would you say it? 24 times he was riddled with bullets, and he had no weapon or nothing on him. So police force did that down at him. So something's happening in our country where we ask yourself, what's happening to our world, you know? So with that in mind, I got to get my head clear. So I decided to share a song with you guys. So just listen carefully, relax, and enjoy the tune. And I can't sing it as loud as I'd like to, but I can get through it. So, you know, our songs are prayers. So there's just recognition in the song and thank you. So just have a little bit of compassion for each other and send this prayer out through our songs and hope for the best for our future of our generations. Listen. Ne tronca shila ahi tua heyo kelo heye shekiayo he ahi tua heyo kelo heye Wazeatakea etuaya Netro Kashila Aitua Eyankelo Shekiayo Shekiayo Aitua Eyankelo Wiya patakia etuaya netro kashila aitua eyankelo shekiayo shekiayo aitua eyankelo ito kagatakia etuaya nito kashila aitua eyankelo shekiayo shekiayo eyahitua eyankelo Amitakia Eoshio Shiokina Jimna Akuak e Wuchazini Wuchaka Eka Gukaya Se una wana wa kanjo kitka pike you ha Wuchik ya Nichap Chake e Yukcha Uyakab na Wuchik ya Ukaga Nakuna Achio Kana Kitkabne na Uchi Ukashila Enacha Isha Wuchik at Hagnach Unana Ukiaye Akichi Tao Kitkapi Isha he Yurtelash Kamna he Aku he Isha Wuchik e Nichap Chena Ushik na Ukie Lila Uyate Le Kia Wita Helium Kap Kilina Shicha Wayaka Kihena Aku Kihena Mini Shoshe E Una he Utechi Kana he Oicha Kia Chahe Tukashila Hena Uchik at Hogena Ushik Chihena Nakuna Hena Ukie I ask her Great Spirit to help those who have suffered from this flooding. I ask that they take care of our warriors who are experiencing many things. And I ask that all our prayers go to our elderly and our young who are about to be confronted once again by a turnabout of this virus we went through. And most importantly, I pray that understanding and comforting each other becomes part of who we are as a nation. So I am Tokashla Hena nach Ona Ushik, Kopia. So Koki Apie, Tokashla, Koki Apie. Omitaki Oasti.
Oh, beautiful prayer. Pidamea, Earl. Relatives, like to I guess just remind our listeners, if you're following us on the Facebook thread, we try to incentivize participation in our podcast by encouraging you to give us a like, give us a share, smash that love button. That's how you get your name in the weekly drawing. We do have, usually every week, we try to have a drawing for a jacket, a Buffalo Chasers jacket, and a Kindle Fire tablet. This week 47, so last week, the winners of the Buffalo Chasers jacket was Angeline Red Thunder. Winner, chicken dinner. Congratulations. We also have a Kindle Fire tablet up for grabs, and the winner of that was Mr. William Stafford. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to William and Angeline. You can redeem those prizes at the War Eagle Vision at the main campus here in Poplar at Student Services. Or if you're not in the area, if you're on vacation someplace and you need those things, just give us a call, 406-768-3688. 6370. Give us your name, give us your size, and then give us a legit mailing address, and we'll get those out to you right away. So I want to encourage everybody to just participate, and that's how you're able to get your name in the hat for those things. So appreciate everyone that's following us. Appreciate viewers that are following us on the webinar. We are live streaming this weekly, and then we do our best to try and upload all of these videos to our YouTube channel, and we have some other cool things coming down the road. But for now, I would like to turn it over to Dekshi Earl. I'm not sure what you and Tommy wanted to visit about today, but I know every week that you've been here, we've always had good discussions about cultural things or powwow. So what do you think? Daku Idukcha.
Takche Bluchang, yeah, they're pretty good now. Takuke, hey, Wambalaki, the things that I saw this past weekend up in Turtle Mountain. You know, that's the largest and biggest veterans giveaway I've ever seen in my life. And what was truly amazing is that the people that humbled themselves to be able to prepare for it took a number of years. And as I watched him, I thought to myself, I said, I have a daughter and a granddaughter that are in active service right now. The need for me to assist them with clearing their war experiences, smudging them and getting all that done. So I was thinking heavily on those things. I have a daughter who has spent 20 years in the service. She's close to finishing her police work, a couple more years, maybe a year and a half. And then I have my oldest granddaughter that's stationed in Jordan, which she was also in Afghanistan with all the stuff taken off with the airplanes and getting people out of there. She was there for a while and I was very nervous, but somehow she ended up in another bigger facility. So I felt very thankful for that. I'm very proud of her that she got her master's degrees while she's still in the service. She got her master's out of the pit, Albuquerque. And so having those concerns and worries about an old man, the only thing I had that comforted me was the power of prayer. To think about them in my prayers, hope that everything goes well with them. But I'd like to share, you know, in the beginning, when you start stepping on, or when I stepped on the red road, there was a lot of questions and things I did not understand and know about, and especially songs. But as I walked that path, I met people along the way. And I'd hear these songs, and it provided me comfort. It gave me a tranquility that I thought never existed, and how we were able to identify who we are through these songs. And so as time progressed and as things happened, you know, it all didn't happen just like that. There was time in between experiencing one song to the next. And soon, after a while, sharing these songs, and through the ages, I was once asked to say an opening prayer at a celebration on our reservation in Cannonball. And I'd been doing opening prayers for many different places prior to that. And I was sitting there and somebody tapped me on the shoulder and they asked me if I would say an opening prayer. And the thoughts I had at that time was, you know, this community, or all communities, you have elderly people, people that should be stepping up and doing these for their own community, providing history, providing the prayers for your community. I said, you know, I said, look around here, there's lots of old people here. I says, that's seniority. I said, go ask them first before you come to me. Ask an elderly first. And he looked at me and he said, Earl, he said, we've done that. He said, you're the only elderly here. I looked around and said, okay, all right. I said, no problem. So, in this road that we walk, that's one of the things that we have to, they say, wachiniampi, they're depending on you. And so each time that I've been asked to do that, I don't hesitate. This past weekend, I was working on the PA system, and I was close to the bari, close to the crow's nest, they call it, or the announcer stand. And they asked me to say an opening prayer, offered me tobacco, which is the right way to do it. So I did. And then they came and asked me to do a meal prayer. So I did it. The next day, I was busy with the mic and they called me up and they asked me to say an invocation again. And I thought that by this time they'd find somebody, but then I was asked to do it again, and I was very honored. I mean, I didn't hesitate. I shared what I learned, and each time you do it, you get more comfortable, you get more confidence because you can feel the need for it to be done, And so as I was sitting there in this big giveaway going on, I was watching all these beautiful quilts going by, satin quilts, Pendletons, and all these giveaway items that were honoring all the vets throughout the community there. And man, there was a lot of vets. And anyway, so I'm sitting there and they called me up front. So I didn't know what that was about. I thought they were going to ask me to pray again. And here this grandma came around and she gave me a star quilt. And I thought to myself, this lady is so, how would you call it? Kind, generous, that even though I'm not a veteran, she was kind enough to thank me with a blanket. And I felt very proud of that. So as a common man, you learn to stay humble. There ain't much I could say, but accept it, shake hands, give her a hug and say, Wopila, thank you. And I sat down and I got kind of emotional about it because that had never happened to me before. And so people depend on you, not only our Sioux and Sox, but other people in other tribes too. We live in a universal world where we have to help each other. Everybody needs to help each other, and especially now. And so my songs, they have touched into many different places. So anyway, so that to me, having gone through that and experiencing it now, I told my wife how good it felt to be able to recognize, and she said, well, right now, she said, that's enough now. He said, no more commitments. I don't know if I'll ever be done with that, but she said, you have to take it easy and stay out of Bismarck. There's a high rate of positive cases showing up in Bismarck, the biggest one in the state. And although I love to go to Grand Entries and watch the dancers and singers, I have to take the old lady's advice and go up and maybe watch one Grand Entry, double masks on and hood on and glasses and all that. So at least I get to watch a little bit of it. And so for once in the years and years that's been going on, I have never watched a softball tournament. There's 100 teams in that softball tournament in Bismarck. So that's when I take my chair, get myself an umbrella, and I'm gonna enjoy watching softball. So that's pretty neat. So I get to do that. Many, many years have gone by where I didn't get to watch World Series because I'm out following or helping the people. So reaching this golden age, twilight years, I get to do all that. I get to eat my wife's cinnamon rolls. Seems like every time she makes it, she gives it all away, So I'm starting to understand why you reached that golden age. Because remember, I was telling you guys I wanted to stay 39 for 6 years. I didn't want to get old until to learn the word chala, which means to blossom in wisdom. And I learned that word and then I understood what they were talking about. I've gained enough knowledge to start sharing. And so I look forward to it. You know, I look forward to somebody asking me a question and I give them the best that I know how. And his head is full of stuff like that. And it's all comes from listening to everybody else talk. Learning to listen was the key. You learn to listen to when elderly speak, you learn to listen, no questions asked. And what you retain is things you'll never forget. And they pop up all the time. You know, just the other day, we were talking about my grandmother who was married to a Maquis. And she was up there and lived in what they call it, Milk River Agency, before it became Fort Peck. And the superintendent at that time's wife was a fluent speaker. So he's very popular amongst Fort Totten and Fort Peck and Standing Rock as an Indian agent, you know, because his wife translated and did the best she could for him, you know. So Major James' book called My Friend the Indian, there are still final pages of that haven't been read yet. So looking forward to that. So anyway, so over the years, it's just, how would you say, being able to rely on memory to come through. But I'm noticing too that I'm kind of forgetting about a few little things, you know, like my sunglasses on my cap and start hollering at my grandchildren, "You guys playing around with my sunglasses? Where are my sunglasses?" I said, "Lala is sitting on your head." You know, misplacing keys and things like that. So, but other than that, I feel very awake and aware mentally, but physically now, that's another story. But anyway, I'm very happy and honored for anybody who'd ever want to visit me or talk, because I'm at that age now. I like to visit, you know, I like to meet new people, new friends, and share what I know. So if there's anybody that's ever want to talk to me or have any questions, I don't know if you have my email, nicaole62@gmail.com.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Nichaole at gmail.com.
62, yeah.
Nichaole62 at gmail.com.
Yeah. So I'm wired for that now. So now my next step now, continuation, is to get into the research. So I got to start getting prepared for that. And I'm I'd say about 3 or 4 words away from getting a song ready for you guys. And that kind of floats around a little bit because there's you have to choose the right words for those thoughts, you know. You know, so what we call connectors, that's the key. How you take one thought and you connect it together so that it flows and tells a story. You know. So anyway, so I'm getting that prepared, and I've got songs almost ready for my daughter's request for composing a song for the women's veterans, flag bearers. That one, and then the history one, Hektanwi's memorial song, and then a song that I had to deal with when it comes to a young couple choosing suicide, which was a hard one, but I got through that too. So, in all that experience and all coming through that, I said, my wife says, you better start recording before you forget all that. So that's another step I have to go. And so if there's any time or any place people are asking any questions, just, you know, email me like that and we can communicate. Now, but I figure in the amount of time or that we have, there are so many other things that we need to do. And that is to teach those students or anyone interested in those dream drum songs so they can have them for the future. And they're associated to that drum.
Mm.
So how's it doing? How's that boy doing?
Oh, it's
Still have tone in it, or?
still has the tone. Yeah, I got it in my office right now. It's ready to roll. I need to fix the one of the handles. I need to fix one of the handles up. I think get a different screw for it. But yeah, it'll be ready to go, and then we'll take it to Chaswecha Omnichia next month.
Yeah, do sweatcha, yeah.
Chuswecha.
Do, it's a hard T, do sweatcha.
Chuswecha.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. People are going to be really surprised to see that and the purpose and intent we did it for. Because there's lots of them that have no idea where all this stuff began, you know, even down to the jingle dress. But like I said, one of my grandpas, Ijitakuk and Egypt, so the same with Shilapi. He said, just let it be, let them have it. They need things too. But I know for a fact that jingle dress was originated amongst the Isanti. Yeah, but he was wise when he said that, and I understood. We all need to help each other, and that's a good way. So anyway, so I just thought I'd share a little bit about that stuff. And the other thing is try to get people to continue masking and distance and educate your children, talk to them about it, and see I'm glad Tommy's getting his shot. And we still have lots of people don't believe that, so they refuse to take it. And nationally, I think 33% of the United States' population still ain't vaccinated yet. So we still got a long ways to go. So anyway, weather-wise, it's going to be nice, warm tomorrow, and then Saturday a little chilly. Sunday will be even Steven. And they always have that big feed out there at the United Tribes. It's usually buffalo meat, sweet corn, mashed potatoes, gravy, fried bread, wogapi. You know, so those are the kind of things you look forward to. People coming to see each other because it's massive. You know, people you may go to the celebration, not see one of your family members till it's all over and come home.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
mention.
anyway,
Oh, what's up?
go ahead.
I was gonna say there's one thing I was gonna visit with you about was one of your ideas was to do like a language through Zoom, connect you with other speakers, just record a conversation, and then washichu iyashni, you know, it's just all like that. So I'll visit with you later. We can pick out a time, whatever's good for you, whatever you're willing and able to do. I know of a couple other speakers. Well, just let you go for it. And I just I'm like a fly in the room. I'll just be there kind of recording and kind of let you guys
That'd be
go.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done that before. And one of the things that I really enjoyed was the idea was when I first put out the Spirit of Song, which came out in cassette, you know. Anyway, there's on Pine Ridge, her name's Cecilia Fire Thunder. I think she became the first tribal chairwoman in Pine Ridge. Anyway, I didn't know who she was, but she's just a pretty good sized lady, you know. So I'm standing at the towards the announcer stand, and I looked over and somebody's waving at me, you know. So I thought they were waving at somebody else. So I looked around and, you know, she was pointing at me. So I looked over and I went like this and she went, yeah. So she gave me that signal just to stand still. And anyway, she worked her way around. She come over like this and she gave me a hug. She's a big woman. And I kind of squeezed me. I almost took my breath away. And you know, she introduced herself and she said, I have some news for you from our committee. And I said, Dokha. And she said, they always go over history or things. And what they do is they put a bowl out on the table in the middle talking circle. And washichu wagalahantash, you have to pay whatever you have, you know. If you mess up, you throw $1 in there, and depending on how you feel about messing up. So if you have 50 cents, you throw it in there for using washichu word, you know. And so that's how they would raise money for their next meetings to buy lunch and stuff, you know.
Cool.
She said, she said, I want to tell you something. She said, there's a one word in that song that we really talked about a lot. She said, wa'ik sabia. You know, wa'ik sabia. I said, I learned that word from my aunt who raised me. She said, to be aware of what you put into your body, to be conscious about what you put into your body.
Mm.
And so that song was about sobriety. So wa'ik sabia, you know, be aware. Yeah, wa'ik sabia. She said, that's the one we discussed. And she said, oh, she said, I'm going to go back and tell everybody that what that means now, because we really talked that over. She said, but Earl, she said, all the songs that are in the tape, she said, we perfectly understand your message. You know, felt very good about that. So coming from people who are very fluent down in the Pine Ridge area, that's quite the compliment. Eh?
Mm.
And we've been friends ever since.
Mm.
So those are experiences that one never forgets, you know. And the best one that I ever, and I think I shared that with you, is when that little boy in Fort Poplar, when I first went out to work, they asked me to sing a song, an honor song for, she's a Redigo. I think she's down here in McLaughlin now. She's married to a baker. Anyway, she was a principal or, teacher. And in Montana, they give you an award for the west side of Montana and the east side. And I can't remember the dollar amount, but there was also a trip to Hawaii in it. I didn't know the people. When they asked me to come and sing an honor song for that, I knew it's a positive thing. And so I have a song I call the Positive Thinking Song. I sang that for her. And they talked about her attributes as a teacher and all that good things. So I'm standing watching the door to help the kids go out, and this fourth graders were coming through, and this little boy broke the line. He come over and stopped in front of me and put his hand out, shook my hand like that. And he said, Mr. Bullhead, he said, I thought they were talking about you.
Mm.
Yeah. Cherishable moments like that for your work. There's no other way and no emotion that's better experience for a teacher than to have a young child, a sacred child, you know, have that thought for you. So I shook his hand and hugged him, and I said, Wopila Kakaichana. And he smiled and he walked off. I wish I knew who that little boy was now.
Mm.
Yeah. But, and it all comes with, you know, life's experiences. All that comes out about what you do in your life. It always comes some form back to you. So whatever you do good for people will always come back to you. You know, if you do good for people, it'll come back tenfold. I've always made an effort to do that. And it all goes back to the same thing my uncle told me. He said, when you're dependent on them, you do your best. He said, because when you get old and can't do these things anymore, you can turn around and say, hey, I've always done my best. Be proud of it. So the way he put that in words in Lakota were very stimulating, very strong. He said, Wachina up here. Oloan nicham hatash. He said, he said, wash agicha, make it strong. And you pia ahia. So chala ania hatash. Music aluta na hayan slomiekte. That wachina kuchan. Tanya ichano. So always think back about that. You'll know you've always done your best. So I have those thoughts in my mind and it makes me happy,
Mm.
you know,
Oh.
because you know what I really miss the most is singing, leading, carrying the song. And that's all in the past now.
Mm.
So I can sing lightly like what I just did for you, but trying to hang in there. Yeah, it's gone now.
Yeah, well, you're on iTunes. You can download Earl, the spirit of the song on iTunes. And I got it on my phone. So, man, you really had a loud, booming voice. Hannah, really loud. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful songs by Iksab. Yeah. Is that in that word's in the positive thinking song, right?
Exactamundo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Classic. And then I
So
remember listening to you. So you taught here in Poplar, Standing Rock, Lower Brule, K through 12, some college courses. You've kind of taught all over, huh?
I have Haskell, USD, University of North Dakota, Sand Rock Community College, let's see, Bone Steel, see what else, Aberdeen, at Presentation College. I mean, they call them the Coyotes. I taught there. And it's always because they needed somebody, you know? And it's amazing how that came about because that program would run out of money. And within a little while, I get a phone call and people would say, would you be interested in working at the University of South Dakota? I said, who am I speaking to, you know? And anyway, all that came like it was, is supposed to happen, you know? And along with that, also the education that my missus got from becoming a nurse, it all fit into place. You know, there was no time at all where we weren't busy, you know. But as far as touring and experience those things, it didn't happen until I went in and did my morning journey for my son who I lost. And so that time of coming out of there and asked to teach, I didn't know what to teach. So what am I going to teach at the college? And they said, teach your songs. And that just took off. Into Hawaii several times. Worried about sharks. If this plane went down, you know, yeah, by the time we go down there, we'll be gone anywhere.
Shark food, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so life's been a journey and it's man. And I have no complaints and no misgivings about any of it. It's always been good. And the people, I really enjoyed different people, man, different company, different conversations, getting to meet people from all over. One time I was even, forgot about this. I was on a television in California.
Wow.
I just saw pictures of it going through my junk.
Mm.
You know, so, you know, in places to invite it. You know, I'm really fortunate about that too, because I was invited to go to Belgium.
Oh, man.
And so that was very tempting. And I was about to say yes, but something said, you know, got uneasy about it. Like, don't do that, you know, feeling. Sure enough, that Saturday I was supposed to fly in the airport. They bombed it.
Oh, man.
Terrorism. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
So we do have an angel. We do have somebody watching over you all the time.
Mm.
So I've experienced that in my lifetime.
And there was that.
Anyway, so
I was going to say there was that other guy. I remember you talking about one time at that workshop. What was his name? Angelina Joline's dad. What was that guy's name?
yeah, John Voight.
John Voight.
John Voight. Yeah.
Kodani.
Midnight Cowboy.
Oh,
Oh man, it was interesting to visit because he's a character actor, and so I tell stories about Iktomi, the trickster, the Shaish, the con artist, and so we made those comparisons, you know, but he appeared in, there's lots of movies that he's in. He's a character actor. And then I got to meet, what's her name? She's not Cree, but she sings really good Cree. She's a St. John. She was in Smoke Signals.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
one
yeah.
with rose-colored glasses. Yeah. No, Michelle St. John was her name. I met all those people. It was really neat to get to know them. And I had their phone numbers. And somebody stole my address book.
Oh
I had
man.
it on the dash of my car, yeah. So I had John's number on there, I had Buffy's number on there. And I had these actresses' names on there and all that. I was very fortunate to meet these people. So I wish I could remember, but I didn't take the time to make copies, nothing like that. So who knows? Someday we'll meet again. You know,
And this was all just after you started
came out of
walking the red road and
yeah, sobered up.
mm,
Yeah. I can't remember when the day of year it is now, but I used to always say, wow, this is my third sweat. This is my fourth sweat, you know, like that. But now I don't know, man, remember how many times I've been in those kinds of things. You know, just do it. It's a way of life, you know.
yeah.
And I think that's a significant phrase, you know, a way of life, Wichoni,
Mm.
you know. Now, there's a song that was taught by Lala Joe, and I'm going through all my tapes, and there's a song that they sing for Wichonte. See, Wichoni is life, and Wichonte, the te means death. So Wichonte, that his being here is no longer alive physically. Wichonte.
Chonte.
The other was Wichoni.
Choni.
Yeah. So knowing those kinds of little things and having been told those things through story form and oftentimes in songs too, you learn a lot. Just keep listening to it and the words just become part of who you are. Good example, what you just told me. So I've known that for quite a long time. So I call it Spirit of Song. Because if you listen to it long enough, it will teach you. You'll start understanding what it's all about. The first song I ever made, I never composed songs before, you know, but it's a sobriety song. And then also songs, memorial songs, it came out of a spirit, you know, something that was in my head, something that I don't know, for some reason, it just was the right place to sing in at the right time. And so you carry those with you whenever you go someplace. And so it's watching out there. You're ready for whatever it is that you're going to be asked. Because there's a song for every occasion, you know? From sunrise to sundown. Nothing like singing the first song. And this was told to me that Lala Joe told me that this song that he taught me came from Fort Peck. Yeah. This is a song that recognizes the tree, the Ochokan, and the people, and the day. And you sing that when the sun is coming up. Beautiful. I think I'm the only one that sings that because there's so many words in it. Wouldn't that be something so people would learn that song because it's really powerful?
Oh heck yeah, heck yeah. That'd be really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So because then you can teach others and so you can use it at the proper time and place. There's one song that he made it and he did songs from the 100 years of music in the United States. Some woman called me, she used to work for Obama, I guess, wanted to know if it was possible to use that song in her research. I said, yeah, go ahead. I said, it's for everybody. You know, it's meant for everybody. We cannot be racist or prejudiced because of these songs, but use them in the right way. And it turned out to be chosen for that first song for those 100-year history of songs in the United States. I didn't know that was going to happen. So it's just all falls into place as you think, as you travel through life. Those things are good. I made a song for James Eater, so who knows, he still might get that Medal of Honor yet. You know, that came to me a day before the honoring. Now I had to go by a newspaper clipping to get the right message to the people about what he experienced. So if that families, it gets there, then they have the song ready for it already. So anyway, so there's lots of that history and things that I've been fortunate enough to be able to be part of, you know, as we walk this road. But also remember, there's a lot of negativity that's out there, and that's the black road. You know, I faced all that too, but I've learned to balance it. And so if it wasn't for those things in your thinking, I said, I wouldn't be where I'm at, because you learn to overcome all that. But that's human nature. We always have those aspects because that's where it's at. It's in that balance. We just have to learn how to use it. There are people like, for instance, they said, well, you know, what do you do when you get somebody inebriated comes to the drum? I said, you have to teach them, explain it to them, that we don't allow this on this drum. You know, I said, if you want to be part of this, do it when you're sober. But if you want to learn more, come and visit me, talk to me. But don't bring your habit when you're like this to the drum. You're old enough, you should know that. But see, no one taught those things to us when we were growing up. We had to discover those things through older people. Inapishka, you see, don't you play with it. That's a good word to remember. Inapishka.
Inapishka.
Yeah, don't abuse it. Respect, you know, inapishka. So we see a lot of that going on, you know, especially at people, but that's human nature. What I like to look at is, I always remember the old guys sitting around, they said, and they said, they used to call it Tomi. That's got one guy that shows up that things always happen, you know. So they watch him, you know, and sure enough, he does things that are people, it's entertaining, you know. Get out there and dance, you know, and I mean, it's just part of who we are. The trickster, the artist, you know, the shyster, the clown. There's one in every group, man. So in my process, remind that guy who sent me that cassette player. Thank you very much. I get a chance to listen to those old tapes.
Oh,
His daughter had a cassette player, yeah.
Sydney,
So
Bisonet.
yeah, I use that. I keep it at work, and I use it in my sound system, or that system we have at school. So I get to listen to songs I forgot, or songs that I recorded that I liked, and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so how we doing? How we doing on here?
Well, we got
kind
about 5 minutes. We could probably wrap it up here pretty soon. Here. I was just gonna mention earlier that something interesting happened here a few weeks ago. We got notification at our tribal college that all of the Lakota tribal college communities, they're going to be in the process of receiving a collection from I forget the guy's name, but they worked at the University of Indiana for years, and they had all these interviews and recordings from speakers from, I think it was basically like Fort Belknap, Fort Peck, Standing, all these communities, and then
I know who you're talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah, and supposedly in his will it was supposed to go to like the Smithsonian or something, but like some lawyers got involved with the American Indian College Fund, and so they're kind of put the halt to it before it gets to the Smithsonian. They're digitizing everything, and they're gonna give it to the tribal colleges. So I haven't looked at it, and I don't know the exact timeline, but that could be like a bunch of little gems in there. So someone like if we get our hands on it here at Fort Peck, we could that'd be really cool to kind of just see what's in there. And
Some of those people associated to that is a guy named Parks,
oh yeah,
William,
Parks.
William Powell.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah, said somehow they lobbied or something to move all that archival stuff over into Indiana. And then from there it began. So now they have all this literature on the Lakota literature that they created their own font system.
mm,
And now they went and approached these things, and they're nice to have because you can just pull it out and give it to the students, say, learn these, But what they forgot was that the method in which language learning is all about is speaking to each other,
mm,
Iwoglaka, that's where we have to take advantage of the people that we have left
mm,
that are fluent speakers, because you can tell they're Washich by just the way they talk Lakota. I can.
mm,
They just don't have the fluidity that we use when we talk,
mm,
And so I'm familiar with that because Parks and then after the William Powell, but they were linguists. They did worked in the Rikara and all the different places because that was their field of study,
mm,
And then William Powell and Louis Garcia and Ron Thies and Johnson, those four grew up singing and learning how to do that when they were Boy Scouts.
mm.
Powell became an author, and Garcia, he's knowledgeable about the tribe that he married into up in Fort Totten. And Ron Thies, he's used to sing with Porcupine Singers. He teaches at Spearfish, awesome voice,
Mm.
And then Johnson was a firefighter. He was down at Albuquerque. But those four used to go around singing powwows up here.
Oh wow.
And they got bigger and learned. Yeah. So I'm familiar with all that. But what we forgot to do as a tribe is to really take a good look at the contracts. Because they changed our whole font system. Kind of confusing to some, but me, that's no problem. I know what they changed to put a C behind an aspirated C already, because every C in our language is aspirated anyway. It comes out Chan, but they put a H in there, CHAN,
Mm.
So they put it all in the books like that, and it's helpful if you know the language. But if you don't have the grammatical skills, it becomes a little more difficult. But it's a good material because it's colorful, it's neat, it's a symbol, there's dictionary goes along with it. It's a good resource.
Mm.
But I've always said the most natural resource that you have is grandpa and grandma who still speak the language fluently.
Mm.
Those are the ones that need to be concentrating on. So they're doing a lot of that here in Standing Rock, interviewing elderly,
Mm.
which is a good thing. That needs to be happen in all the reservations. There's a fluidity to speaking the language.
Mm.
And this is where this conference coming up is very important.
Mm.
You get to see the works that they're doing and how they're doing it. And also that's, I say, to our advantage what we're doing, so we can see how to implement a lot of things that's going to be beneficial for the community.
Yeah.
And so, so it'd be nice for younger people to get more involved in it. So that's what you call preservation, So you take all the resources that you can, study it, and become holistic.
Mm.
Don't become ethnocentric. There's too much of that going on already. This is our way. We don't talk like that. That's the way they talk. Learn each other, speak Lakota, Dakota, Nakota, whenever you can. Try it all, That's the way I look at it.
Mhm.
So we're able to, I would just say, have a wider and more holistic perspective on all of it. Took me a while to come to that understanding, but I see why that's so important now. Let's keep our languages alive, and let's keep going, and to do it with the elderly,
Mm.
because there are a lot of words I don't know yet too. As much as work I've done in it.
Mm.
So there's all those little connectors we call, there's modifiers. That's the key. Learn your modifiers like wa, ya, and budu, do, lu. Those modifiers is what we have to utilize to make sentences.
Mm. Mhm.
Bluha, luha, yuha. Those change. Blue and lu and you. Those are modifiers. The wa chi, the wa is a modifier, ya is a modifier, and then the verb stem itself, chi. So wa chi, I want, ya chi, you want, chi, he or she wants. Un chi, you and I want. Un chi pi, all of us want. Ya chi pi. So you can see that fluidity that's in there. You can see the verbal cluster. And the proper pronunciation comes with the teacher saying the words to the students as much as possible. And to take it and practice pronouncing it out loud. Pronounce the words out loud, use them,
Mm.
But, you can't force people to do things they don't want to do. It's up to them. That's the power of choice. You can't force anybody to do anything they don't want to do. So if you really want to learn, you'll make the effort.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Hecho se ibudukcha.
Oh, hecheri production.
I'll put a yedo on there too.
Okay, all right.
Hecho se ibudukcha yedo.
Production, you know.
Why are you talking D? You're supposed to be an L speaker. I said, my grandma talked D, so I want to talk D too.
Yeah.
I can speak L, speak D, Wachino,
All right, Earl. I appreciate again everything you shared today. We're at the top of the hour, so we'll have to shut it down unless there's anything else you want to say.
Everybody have a good weekend. Stay up, practice the distance and wear your masks. Double up if you're going to tribes. Be safe. Take care of each other.
Mitakepi doksta akewa chia kapik to do.
Hey ha ya hey ha ya hey ya hey yo hey yo hey ha ya hey ya hey ya hey yo hey yo hey ya hey ya hey ya hey Perfect community college, me too, gashi, gagush, kata, yogi, yo, pepe, agi, tabi, ya, bido,